Hey dudes, Silvite Soltis here, and today I'm proud to be starting a new video series. Since that Blizzard survey about potential TBC server launch styles came out a few weeks back, I've been getting more and more excited about the near certainty of an eventual Classic TBC. As such, I thought it might be fun to reminisce about some of my fondest Burning Crusade memories from way back when, in order to keep my own personal hype train going. So, here we are. Before getting started though, I just want to note that because I played so much more Burning Crusade than vanilla, my memories are a lot more blended together than my memories of vanilla. As such, this series will definitely be less chronological. That said, I hope it will be just as entertaining for everyone looking forward to storming the Dark Portal someday. Anyway, with that small disclaimer out of the way, let's get right into the first story. It was a cold January day when the Burning Crusade released. I remember well the anticipation that was welling up inside me as that date had grown steadily closer. But unfortunately for teenage me, I wasn't able to start the expansion at the Dark Portal with the millions of other players who were waiting. See, I was in the middle of my year abroad in Japan as a Rotary Youth Exchange student. My priorities in life at that time were making the most of that particular year, learning the Japanese language and culture, making friends, and generally doing everything new that I could. That being said, I was quite bummed out when January 16th rolled around and everyone else moved forward in WoW without me. But that's just the way it had to be. I sat there in my host family's house, watching others grow in power from level 60 to 70, while I sat behind. I remember the world first level 70 capping in something like 26 hours after the expansion dropped, and thinking, wow, it must be pretty hard to put that game down. Only to find out later that they cheesed their way to 70 by tagging mobs and getting help from guildies. Still, I was pretty hyped up for the expansion, and eventually started bugging my friend Leica and my brother Zelos to get me a copy. However, they both basically just told me to suck it up and wait till I got back to the US. Typical. Deciding to make the most of my time in Azeroth, I continued slowly leveling my warrior alt, Aoyama Motoko, up through the 30s during my free time while still enjoying an active social and family life in Japan. When I got bored with the warrior, which happened quite frequently, I farmed Timbermaw rep on my priest. This was quite slow, however, as I was still wearing Dungeon Blues from Strat and Skolo, and never really learned how to properly play a Shadow Priest. Combine this with the fact that everyone else was in Outland at this point, I was all by myself in lonely Fellwood for those sessions. Then, one day, somebody told me about the amazing BOE items that they were getting in the new expansion. Curious, I traveled to the auction house and looked for myself, and oh man, was I surprised. These items were absolutely amazing. Though I didn't have a lot of gold, I had enough to buy a few Laughing Skull pieces with intellect and spell damage. Then I returned to the grind in Fellwood. The difference was night and day. In just a few minutes, I went from doing what was probably around 150 DPS, and needing to drink after every 3 mobs or so, to what must have been 300 or more. I remember still needing to drink a lot, but with how fast those bear dudes were falling, I really didn't care. So yeah, you could say that my first Burning Crusade experience was pleasant, albeit a bit different from what most people experienced. In any case, I continued with my Furbolg grind through much of February, or maybe even March of 2007. I don't really remember the dates clearly anymore. Eventually, though, I reached Exalted with a Timbermaw hold, and Darnassus for good measure. Along the way, I saved enough gold for my epic mount, and so, since I was unable to progress beyond level 60, and there wasn't much else I could do, I bought myself a Nightsaber, grabbed that final quest from the Timbermaw hold, and camped outside High Chief Winterfall's cave to continuously unleash the demon Zandivius on unsuspecting players leveling in the village below. Good times. I hope you enjoyed this brief story of my initial Burning Crusade adventures. As you can tell, my experience was a bit different than most people's, but it definitely was fun nonetheless. The Burning Crusade was a fun adventure from start to finish for me, and I really can't wait to share some more of my stories in installments still to come. In any case, this is how my story started, but I'd love to know yours as well. So, if you're willing to share, feel free to leave a comment down below telling me about your earliest Burning Crusade memories. Anyway, that's it for today. If you like this story, why not subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that you know when I release new stories in the future. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and check out my blog over on Blogspot if you'd like a preview of any videos that are to come in the future, as I always start off by writing them there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. And as always, take it easy, guys.